Jesus. This is lagging. This is lagging. Why is this lagging? Why is this lagging? Ah, Jesus Christ. Okay, it's good now. Why is it lagging? Okay, whatever. Fuck me, man. This is not normal. Wait. Need to fix this. Okay. I think it's good now. Let's turn this on. Turn this on. Never turn the lights off. Jesus. It's too bright. What's up, guys? Welcome back again. I don't know if this is lagging too much, so I can fix it. Turn. How are we, people? There's too much noise. There's too much noise. Fucking hell, should I? Okay. This looks ridiculous. Okay, let's think of a pose that makes sense here. I'm trying to practice my poses, and I always forget to think about it beforehand. I always forget to kind of think what I'm doing. So. Hey Chris, what's up? How are we, man? Welcome. Sorry if my voice sounds like shit. I sound like a fucking smoker. Yeah. Oh my god, I saw it was a Brazilian. Close. How is his shoulder? Right. I have an eye burger, sorry. Fucking hell, it hurts. I was about to not stream today, but I said fuck it. I have a few hours. Oh, these glasses are so wonky. Follow the damn perspective, dude. You can do this. That's not so. Well, I'm Brazilian. I don't understand much of what you're saying, but I said you have a great future. Keep going like this. I know that one day you will be at the top of the world of arts. Thank you, brother. Thanks, I appreciate it. What's up, boys? How are we today? Hmm. I'm gonna turn the shit off because it's too loud. Looking Jack, bro. Thanks. You rarely see jacked artists nowadays, right? It's like pretty rare. I think art, like drawing, is a fucking. It just encourage people too much to just stay inside, and it's like a overall pretty anti-social activity, you know. So it's like people don't bother to. I don't know. Most artists are just nerds. I'm not even saying this as an insult because I am one myself, but it's like Jesus. Uh, yeah, your own body is also an art form that you should put effort in. When I don't put effort into my body, well, not even into my body, just like being healthy in general, everything is just um, it just comes together. Because if I don't do it, my art gets affected as well. You know, it's so ingrained into my health that I need to take a proper care of everything. Otherwise, I'm gonna be slacking off at drawing as well. for some weird reason. It's like if I don't go to the gym, I'm gonna start doing bad habits, and that in some weird way is going to affect my drawings and my art. Coach, talk to me, coach. I'm bronze 5 and I want to pick challenger. What are you talking about? What? Bro, what are you talking about? This guy is on something. I'm beginner and I want to pick master rank and beyond. Uh, all right, man. Nice. Going to tell you to learn perspective. I mean, to be fair, perspective is okay, yes, but I think people get a little bit too much on perspective without focusing on the important stuff afterwards. So it's like, oh yeah, I know how to draw perspective, but then it's like, okay, but do you know how to draw anything else? You know what I mean. But if you want me to be your coach, just text me on Instagram. Send me a DM. I swear I'm not trolling. I already know perspective to a degree, coach. I fall on value in painting. I know line control and shape. Alright. Well, if you want me to help you, just send me a DM and I'll be happy to do it. My Instagram, I think my Instagram is in the description here. If not, you can just look me up. Yeah, deal. Ironically, I think having line control is pretty useless. It's a pretty useless skill. You know that people when they're learning to draw, they do this. Oh, straight lines. Warm up. Oh, let's draw 100 circles like this as a warm up. And it's like, bro, that's so pointless. You don't need your lines to be perfect or anything. You're gonna be like, um, bro, when your lines look ugly, they look better for some reason. I gotcha, coach. I'm a lock in. Let's go, man. That's what I like to hear. I don't even know what I'm doing here, so don't ask me. I just made this ugly drawing underneath this mannequin, and I'm like, okay, let me try to do this. Add contour line so it doesn't look so ugly anymore. Are you working on any project or are you just practicing? Yeah, I'm practicing and having fun. Like, I don't understand when people say project, um, like a video game or something. I don't know. It's just like, man, I like drawing and maybe like creating stories with the drawings and everything. Which to be fair, is more complicated, and I struggle with doing that. So I couldn't tell you. Well, it's not that I struggle. to like what I struggle is to kind of come up with the ideas beforehand, but I can draw pretty much anything. It's just my own brain that's like handicapping me. But yes, I'm right now I'm practicing, like for example, drawing a pose in multiple perspectives, multiple angles, eye levels. You know, just to kind of test that I know what I'm doing, and if I catch myself not knowing what I'm doing, then I'm like, okay, then keep on practicing this thing. You know what I mean? It's like, I think this looks like this. Like for example, creating a comic or something like a bigger project. Nah, I'm just practicing mostly. I wanna get sharper at drawing um, anatomy. I wanna like because I know anatomy, right? I know the underlying structure of everything, but I wanna go 1,000% like me knowing what I'm doing before I start getting into like more experimental stuff. Maybe that's a bit of a cope. Maybe it's just like, yeah, you're coping a little, so you don't do the hard thing right now. But it's like, man, I feel like it's important to master perspective because that's gonna not perspective. I mean, well, yes, but I mean anatomy because that's gonna handicap you a lot, and it's gonna make like if you want to make a comic but your anatomy is shit, like you can still make it. Go on Reddit, go on r/comics, and look at all the comics of people who like barely know how to draw, but they come up with like good ideas and everything. So it's like you can do it. Man, this fucking arm looks weird. I don't think this looks right. It's just stuff like this, for example. So if I haven't seen like a pose like of a person raising their arm from like this specific eye level, I'm gonna be like, I need to be honest with myself and say, okay, I'm kind of guessing here what I'm doing, so I'm gonna look it up, and I'm going to like fix it, you know, in my mind. Bro, do you recommend the course Draw a Box? Have you done it? No, I haven't really done it. I don't. I haven't really seen it. I mean, you don't really need a course to draw boxes. I think that's just like, just draw boxes for like a year. Do at least once a day. Do a page dedicated to drawing boxes in perspective for an entire year, and you know your brain is just going to get it, and after a year is when you fully like master it, right? It's not gonna take you a year until you can start drawing other stuff, but it's like regardless of how many boxes you draw a day, you still need to like be like, okay, I'm gonna wait an entire year until I know for a fact that I'm fluent at this language, right? Because perspective is pretty much a language, and if you don't master it, if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to affect the other areas of your art of your drawing, because it's a very fundamental skill to have to know how to draw in perspective. Me personally, I tried draw a box, but I thought it was pretty boring, and for me, that's not what art is about. I'd rather learn from elsewhere than follow that course. Yeah, man. So, man, I'm kind of tired of showing the perspective thing, but I'm gonna show you how I do boxes, because it's a very like people tell me, oh, perspective is boring. How is doing perspective, and I get kind of bored and everything. And in theory, it makes sense that it's boring because it's like, oh yeah, you're using a lot of grids, you're using a lot of planning, and it's just like boring, calculating shit and just doing it like this. I guess it's just like in your mind it may seem boring, but it's just because you're doing it wrong. So for me, more than perspective being boring, right now it's boring not because of the way that I do it, but it's because of the way that I've mastered. Like I've already mastered perspective because I've been doing this for over a year and a half. And so it's kind of boring because it's too easy now, and it doesn't like suppose a challenge to me now. But when you're still figuring it out, it's really fun because it feels like you're playing God. It feels like you're just materializing things out of nowhere. It feels like you're playing with Legos. And if you don't have this mentality when you're drawing perspective and boxes, you're doing something wrong. So this is why I teach specifically like the perspective skill in a way that people like get it. In a way that it's like, okay, I actually understand what perspective means, which is just basically understanding the 3D space in a way that allows me to connect one thing with another thing in the same space. Coach, I did it. I sent my big three to you. However, I will also document my progress, my process if you prefer one documentation, but also my only issue genuine is I cannot finish an art piece for the life of me. How I ever follow Kim Jong-gi lessons religiously, and it has helped me crisp artwork. Jesus, man, you need to start using punctuation, like Collins. uh, I want to be able to sketch, to shade, and paint a piece that already looks like an almost a final piece the entire way, start to finish. I'm a religious fundamental enjoyer. Well, you don't really need to, honestly. When you're a beginner, you don't need to care about wanting to make super finished looking stuff because look, you're not going to. If your mindset is okay, I want to finish things. I want to make stuff that looks rendered and complete. The thing is that is something a little bit more advanced because you first need to focus on the way more fundamental things before you can start to render shit out. Because the thing with rendering is that it's just like a flashy thing. It's not gonna automatically make a bad drawing better. You can't polish a turd. When it comes to it sounds like I sound a bit like an asshole, but it's just the truth. Like if you have a poor understanding on how anatomy works and you try to render that, it doesn't make sense. So you first need to focus on the anatomy, and you'll realize that when you make things and you approach things in such a simple way, you'll realize that rendering becomes like the trivial thing. It just becomes like, oh, okay, let's do this for the sake of presentation a bit. Let's just kind of, it's not like the huge thing that you may think it is. Because rendering, the thing with rendering is that it's not so much a separate thing. So like, you need to learn things like anatomy first, because when you learn anatomy, you will kind of automatically learn how to render, because you will just know the forms and the kind of like the contour lines here. So for you to render, you just need to understand how contour lines work, basically, if you want to do like hatching and all of this. But it's not particularly what I would consider an important goal or something to aim for necessarily. Yeah, I'm not saying perspective is boring. I meant draw box scores was boring and too grindy. I don't recommend that you grind the boxes themselves. You know, when it comes to the actual grind, because, drawing in some way is a grind because it allows you to grind. It's kind of like when you're playing Call of Duty, you have a grind. You can grind the camouflages, and the more you spend on doing that, the more you're going to improve, right? So it's like, look, when you are drawing boxes, that shouldn't be the grind. You should be doing that at least once a day, you know? And you're going to improve anyways, because the more you do that, I don't think that correlates with the more you're going to improve. So how do you actually do boxes without thinking too much about it? It's just like, bro, just draw. You want to just draw a vanishing point and the horizon line like this, and then you're like, okay, now I'm gonna draw boxes that are pointing towards this vanishing point. So all the boxes that I draw are going to be pointing towards the vanishing point. I kind of like went a little here. Okay. You don't need to over intellectualize it. Like, I hate it when people try to over analyze how to draw the box and everything. It's not necessary. You don't need to think too hard about it. It's just like, bro, you have a vanishing point, follow it. That's it. That's all you need to know. And then from this point, it's like you already know what to do. Draw as many boxes as humanly possible. So it's like, okay, now you have two boxes here. Then it's like, okay, you go like this, boom. Oh, fuck. My computer is so laggy right now. I should have restarted it earlier before streaming. Oh god, what is this? This is lagging so much. The line is like appearing like 30 seconds later. What is this? Oh man. Also, sidetrack. Sorry for my terrible grammar. English is my second. Yeah, all right, you're good, man. Just try to use like columns because it's kind of hard to read this. Like I already struggle to read on the screen because it's super far away and I don't have my glasses, so I don't want to have a stroke. Like Kim Jong Ki, like Kim Jong Un. Yes. Based on what I sent you on Instagram, what do you think I need to improve? The point is, the boxes is so you don't worry about the drawing. It's there to become second nature. It's how it's always been there. Yeah, when it comes to the boxes, look, you're absolutely right here. The boxes is the equivalent, like the analogy that I always use is, imagine you're gonna learn. Imagine you have a goal. Your goal is to write songs in English. You're gonna be a songwriter, so you want to write songs, but you don't speak English or your English is shit. So if your English is shit and you want to learn to write songs, guess what? You're gonna struggle. You're not gonna be able to do it successfully. So you first need to learn the language, and then you're gonna develop the skill to write songs. So it's like you come to me, and you tell me, "Hey, I want to learn to write songs." It's like, okay, we first need to teach you the language. You first need to learn it. It's like I wish we could skip past this part because I also kind of it's also frustrating to me not being able to teach you everything that I want to teach you because perspective is still handicapping you a little bit. But it's just this is the way it is. It is what it is. I can't like it takes the amount of time that it takes. So you need to spend the proper amount of time doing it, and you know I make sure that okay, I'm not gonna wait an entire year of me coaching you to teach you. Oh yeah, good, you spent an entire year after doing perspective, now we can start learning how to draw. No, of course not. I'm still gonna teach you this stuff, but it's like you just need to know what it takes. I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, you don't need to know perspective. You can just study perspective for 1 week and then you're gonna be good. No, no, fuck. I'm absolutely telling you the truth based on what I've done, and it's just how it is, man. Well, you make it look easy. I get that the lines point to the vanishing point, but how do I know the length of for each line? uh, the length for each line, it's just like whatever you want it to be. It's like, look, this is what I mean by you're playing God, basically. So it's like, let's do it here again. 1 second. So like, let me do it again because it was kind of lagging. Let me actually do it properly here. So it's like, imagine you draw, fucking hell. You always want to start with like the vanishing point. So what I did, like I can draw. You don't even need this horizon line. It's just for the sake of like visualizing it. I can draw, for example, a box that is pointing towards this vanishing point without using any guidelines or anything. Right? So it's pointing. It's pointing a little bit to the left, but it doesn't matter. Look, if it's not completely perfect, people have asked me this. Oh, but your lines are not completely perfect. Yeah, because sometimes I'm lazy to super accurately calculate. Oh yeah, this line has to be pointing like this. It's not hard, but sometimes I just forget. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be super perfect. As long as it's barely, as long as you can't tell, like this, as long as you can roughly tell, oh yeah, it's pointing here, it's okay. You don't need to be super accurate. It's fine if it's pointing here instead. So before being able to do this, you need to first be able to what I used to do first was draw the guidelines like this. So I would draw the guidelines, like I would draw them, and then I would be like, oh, okay, this should be pointing here. All of these lines have to be converging towards the vanishing point. So it's just following this principle of, okay, if the box is further away, it's going to be smaller. If it's closer to you, it's going to be bigger. But it just depends on how big you want it, how big and thick you wanted it to be, because you can make it very thin as well. The box. So for example, if you want to draw one that is, instead of below the vanishing point, you want it to be the horizon line. You want it to be above. You can just do it the same way like this. And the goal here is that eventually, after some time, you're able to do this without any guidelines, and you're able to not only do this with boxes, but to apply. The difficult part is not doing this without guidelines. That is easy. You're gonna be able to do that after like a few days. But the difficult part, the actual difficult part, is to apply this onto your actual drawings and your mannequins, your whatever other thing that you draw, your situations that you draw, and everything. But the idea, the whole premise of this is that you're able to connect, all of these boxes. For example, if you look at this box, that's here, and this other box that's here, they're far away from each other. They're not connected. They're not close. But at the same time, they are connected in the same 3D space, because the thing that is connecting them is the vanishing points. I keep on spitting all over my screen. Yes, looking like a cargo shipment bay. Yes, I always think the same thing. You can double down on this. What I think is like, oh, okay, it's kind of like a warehouse, and you're arranging boxes in whatever order you want. You see how it's like playing God. You're playing God in a way. You are like Okay, I want this to be here. I want this box to be here, and I want this to look like this. So you do it. Boom. You have a lot of freedom, man. It's really fun. I really enjoy doing this. I'm gonna look at your drawings. Let me open up Instagram. Give me a second. Uh, Looks like I don't have to worry too much about being perfect and focus more on looking right. Yes, your lines, you can afford your lines to be pretty ugly. You see how my lines are like extremely ugly? I have this mantra that is kind of like ugly lines and accurate perspective. You want your lines to be pretty ugly like this, but you want the perspective to be right and accurate. Mm, mm, mm. Wait, give me a second, man, because I don't have anything. I need to open up Discord or Instagram, whatever you send me this, because uh, my computer right now is like really slow. So it's probably gonna. My laptop is gonna have a stroke if I open another tab here. Mm. Did you send them on Discord? Coach, trust, look at what I said. I'm gonna make you proud, I swear. Gonna feel like a proud father. I bring honor to family. uh, you're good, man. Don't worry. uh, Give me a second. Playing God isn't how I would describe my previous job. But it's like, bro, just draw boxes first. You want to start with a box like this. You want to start drawing boxes because it is the very thing that's gonna put you into a flow state as a beginner. It is the true, actual productive thing. Because look, when you're just starting out, they are not extremely difficult. They are something that you can actually tackle as a beginner that doesn't know anything. You have this challenge and you can actually complete it. It is possible. It is like the level of difficulty of a level one video game. You can do it, but it's also difficult enough that it's gonna put you into a flow state and you're gonna actually have a lot of fun doing it. So take a screenshot of this if you want, and you can copy it, do whatever. Art share. Mm, 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 mm. Nice, this is pretty good. I can't share my screen, so just gonna paste this here. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus, this is too big. Okay. Um. Yeah, so you're aiming for a more realistic style here, I see. Like, well, like, fuck. Like a cartoony, or not cartoony, but like stylized. approach, but also like a realistic. Yeah, it looks fire, man. It's just that you really need to make sure that you go all in when it comes to studying anatomy, and you need to do that a lot. You need to actually commit fully to learning anatomy of everything and understanding how every single body part and little yeah, body part and muscle works, because otherwise you're going to be guessing a lot, and it's not going to be consistent. So you see, the issue when you don't do this is that you're gonna have a weird problem. That is that you're gonna make a drawing that's gonna look good, and you're gonna be like, "Wow, I'm so proud of this drawing. It looks good." But then you're gonna be like, "Oh, this next drawing looks bad. Like the anatomy of this drawing looks kind of bad. But why? If I've done it before and it looks good before, why am I doing it like it looks wrong now? You know what I mean? So it's like you feel like it's very inconsistent. You feel like it's like a hit or miss when you're doing a new drawing, because you don't understand the underlying structure, and you don't have the full knowledge on how these things work. And when you don't have that knowledge, you are going to be guessing a lot, and you're going to be relying too much on the luck of the universe to be like, okay, do the gods want this drawing to be good or not? Or I wonder. I'm gonna spin the roulette or some shit. It's not consistent. And the true skill is that you're able to do this in a consistent way. Fucking here, I thought I could get away with half-assing it a lot, and maybe because I'm too lazy. Yes, I thought the same thing. Well, the thing is that if we come from like, I think most artists come from like the bad habit of just doing a lot of studies and copying a lot of shit, because each time I feel I take a shot. Oh man. You must be drunk by now. You must live intoxicated. But it's just like, what was I gonna say? You want to, your grind, the actual grind of art, of drawing. If you want it to be like, if you want to become like a fucking master, right? Should be on understanding as much of everything as you can, as much as of everything as you can. Because look, the concept artists and everything, it's like for example, most concept artists, and the people who see work for like studios and everything, it's like they all use references and everything, and like we all understand the importance of references. We all can rate. We all can. So look, everyone can look at a reference. Everyone can look at a reference and use it to kind of create something new. And storytelling and being creative, I think is a skill in and of itself. But it's the fact of being able to come up with your own ideas and have everything inside of your mind. That is a different fucking skill. And you may think that's like really complicated, but it's actually not. It's actually really, really simple. It just takes a lot of like taking the right amount of steps. Everyone can actually do it because we all have the skill of doing it. It's like if I told you, hey, you need to memorize a song. You need to memorize the lyrics of one song. You can do that. It's not that, oh, but my memory is bad, so I can't memorize a song. No, it's not that your memory is bad. It's that you're not putting enough intention into it, right? So it's like you can't look at the lyrics of one song and be like, oh, okay, I memorized it just by looking at it once, right? If I tell you memorize a song and you look at it once at the lyrics, oh, I didn't memorize it, so I must be bad. My memory must be shit. No, it's not that you are not memorizing it. It's not that you can't memorize it. You have the skill. You're just doing it wrong. And, you know, I come from a background and like this bad habit from doing a lot of bad habits, like just relying too much on muscle memory and copying other artists and then being like, especially like anime style, kind of similar to what you're doing here. I was doing a lot of anime style and everything, and it's like, you get my point. And then when it came to like, okay, I want to come up with something myself, I would be relying on those copies instead of understanding. You may think it's productive. Yes, you are relying on the decisions of those artists to nurture your own art and your own knowledge. But when you're focusing on copying, you're not really focusing on learning anything. You're not really. It doesn't promote any memorization. It doesn't promote that you are able to come up with these things by your own, and for a fact they're accurate, because if you're only copying from artists, you're gonna be guessing what the decisions are, and sometimes they're not even accurate. Honestly, sometimes artists make mistakes, and like anatomy mistakes, because a lot of people don't know how to study, right? And they're gonna be like, oh, but this, if I try to replicate what I kind of saw, it's like that kind of game where you're like drawing on the back of someone, and the person is trying to like you have a line of people, and everyone is like drawing on the back of somebody else. So it's like, okay, you draw on the back of someone, then the other person is drawing what they think they kind of felt it was being drawn, and so on, and everything is just kind of being funneled into a more crappy understanding on the real objective set in stone fundamentals and anatomy. In this case, anatomy. Everything is anatomy. I need to make this explanation. I need to make this like clarification here, because I feel like I may come off as close-minded when I mention anatomy too much, like if like the top thing that you should be doing, because anatomy is everything, right? I need to again make this clarification. Anatomy is everything. Anatomy is just like the structure, or at least my definition of anatomy is the structure of everything there is. The structure, the functionality, the proportions of everything. If you try to regardless of what you are wanting to draw from imagination, you need to know the anatomy. And studying more than time, what it takes is actually knowledge on how to study. You need to know how to study these things. And people start with perspective, and that's really good, but if people don't move from there, you learn perspective for nothing, pretty much. But if you're at the stage where you're like, okay, I'm good at perspective now, I want to learn how to learn to study things. I want to learn how to memorize things. And this is very powerful, because when you learn something, when you learn to study something, you are never going to forget about it. Truly. I was thinking about this because the other day I was kind of singing in my head the lyrics of a song that I used to listen when I was a little kid. And I was like, fuck me, man, I didn't listen to this song. I haven't listened to this song in like over a decade. And I still remember the lyrics almost like to perfection. You realize it's the same thing when it comes to drawing and memorizing stuff. This is why, Kim Jong-gi didn't have photographic memory. He just knew how to do stuff that most people didn't. And when you figure that out, when you figure out that, okay, everyone can do this, and in some way, I'm glad that nobody realizes this, because it wouldn't be so special, would it? It's like I may sound like a bit of an asshole, but I'm kind of happy that this is like a little bit uh, gate kept, because it's like Jesus. Imagine if everyone was like super good at drawing anything. It loses a little bit of its magic, right? I guess it's just like me being a little selfish. It's like League. I gotta know what every character does, what every ability does in the timers. Otherwise, I'm gonna get cooked. I think it's simpler than that. I think like if you're gonna use video games for an analogy, I always like seeing it as like grinding camouflages in Call of Duty, because it's like imagine every object that you want to memorize as a camouflage. So imagine, okay, I want to learn how to draw a microphone. So I have this Blue Yeti here. I don't know if you can see it. I have this microphone here. So I'm like, okay, I observe it a lot. Obviously, like with the proper fundamental and techniques, I observe it with the specific purpose of memorizing it. So once I memorize this, I'm gonna be like, okay, the camouflage is completed. I unlocked this one camouflage. Now I'm gonna move to the next one, and it doesn't take too long. But this is why it is a grind. This is why it is a grind, because you need to go. The more that you do this, the more that you will like. It correlates. It is exponential. Exponential. The more you do this, the more you will improve. So if you do this for 5 minutes, you're going to improve a little bit. If you do this for 2 hours, you're going to improve way more. So after learning how to draw a microphone, you learn how to draw an MP5. Then you learn how to draw a car. Then you learn how to draw the car engine. Then you learn how to draw this and that. And once you truly learn how to draw it, you're not going to forget it. If you only rely on copying the lines that you see like every other artist, you are never going to memorize it. This is why I'm so against doing like gesture drawings and all of that bullshit, because it's not something that is going to help you to draw from imagination. He's dropping the nuclear codes right and done. Yeah, pretty much. Fuck, I thought I was sharing my screen. Yeah, no wonder everyone left. So to get the special, so to get the diamond skin on anatomy, I gotta do special missions. Yeah, you gotta do like the challenges, you know. Uh, Human anatomy is particularly complicated. It's particularly annoying because it just takes too long. This is why I'm focusing as much as I can on human anatomy. So then I'm like, okay, now I can start drawing other stuff like guns. I really want to draw guns again, because for a while I started to like memorize all sorts of real life guns and everything. But then I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter if I'm good at this if I don't know how to draw people, right? So I'm gonna leave the guns for later, and I'm gonna focus on this first. But what rank would you rate me? Uh, well, that's kind of hard to tell. That's kind of hard to tell because I use like some specific metrics to truly rate the skill, the fundamental skill of an artist, and it's just by drawing boxes and mannequins. I can absolutely see how truly good you are, because look, you can always kind of fake it. I'm not saying you're doing this, but you can always kind of fake skill by adding a lot of flashy details and shading. So when you strip everything down to the bare bone, that's when I'm able to see, oh, okay, this guy is actually good. When you take away all the random detail and you only rely on the fundamental things, that's what I'm when I'm able to see that. So the metrics that I use is just basically drawing boxes, doing this basically. This is one, and the second thing is drawing a mannequin, like a very basic mannequin, like yeah, like the ones I'm drawing here. I'm always drawing these mannequins because I know how important they are. I know the importance of them. So, uh, I need to see how someone draws the mannequins, especially if they're worrying or their focus is human anatomy. That's the most important thing that I need to see. Because look, you can have, and this is the thing that is so interesting. This is the thing that's so weird. You can, like, if you go on Instagram, you will find a lot of fine artists, you will find a lot of people who are able to do hyper realistic anatomy, not from imagination, but from reference. Like they look at a statue and they're able to be like, whoa, okay, I'm rendering this. It looks one to one hyper realistic. It looks like a photo basically. You've seen those paintings, those drawings of people who draw like they're a fucking printer. They're like, whoa, okay, this guy can draw a photographic style realistic. Okay, good. If you tell that same person to draw a basic body from imagination, he can't do it. How fucking crazy is that? Like, you can draw hyperrealism from a reference, but you can't draw a simple body with a simple pose from imagination. Or if I tell you, okay, draw a mannequin, they're gonna fumble it because one skill doesn't correlate to the other. You see? So it's like, I've also seen a lot of people. I'm not shitting on anyone in particular here. I'm shitting on a lot of people, but not at anyone in particular. I can't like remember anyone, anyways. But I've seen a lot of people who also like do they're drawing from imagination, and they are like on this niche of perspective and everything as well. And so I see a lot of these people in some way faking it by drowning the drawing in so much detail, in so much shading, in so much hatching. And it looks flashy. And this is the thing, it looks finished, it looks flashy, it looks presentable. But the underlying aspects of the drawing are not particularly accurate, are not as sharp as they can be. You get my point? I have documented structure. I can drop these. I'm sending it on the. Okay, that's it. Uh, Let me open up Discord again. Jesus, takes forever. Takes forever to open this. See you in a minute. Meanwhile, I can't even draw like this. Ah, Jesus. Like, I don't know if you can see how laggy this is, but it's like there's like 30-second delay here. Jesus Christ. I think next time I'm going to be doing these streams on my iPad instead. I think I'm liking the iPad better. It just feels nicer. It doesn't lag like crazy, and uh, yeah. Okay, let's see. Where did you send it? Oh yeah, here it is. Are these studies, or were you drawing this from imagination? because at least I can say that, well, if you did this from imagination, at least you have a good understanding on the proportions of the body and everything. But I would still need to see the mannequin, the actual bare bone mannequin that's just like the most basic display of the knowledge that you have. It looks alright. Um, Man, I wish I could be sharing this. Well, man, yes. If you wanna get the coaching, I'll send you. I'll send you. We can schedule a call, and I'll send you. I'll send you a link. But yes, when it comes to rendering, it is a little tricky because the actual anatomy, when you learn anatomy and the structure of everything, is going to tell you how to render. It's going to tell you everything you need to know for it to render the thing. So it's like you can't render something you don't know what it looks like. Like if you don't know what it looks like. So for example, if I tell you, hey, you gotta render a car engine, but you don't know what the car engine looks like, or you don't have an idea of the structure of it. It's like you need to be able to draw it first. As soon as fuck me, as long as you're able to draw it, as soon as you learn how to do it the right way, of course, as long as you actually know what you're doing and you have a proper idea of the structure of things, because it's not only understanding, yeah, the muscles and everything and the connections, which is really important, but it's also understanding visually the shapes. It's understanding the volume of things. Otherwise, you're gonna have a lot of knowledge, but everything is gonna look flat. Like I've seen people, like I've told a lot of people to like just draw a mannequin like this and then draw. Okay, now you can draw the rib cage inside. It's like, okay, now you can draw the anatomy inside of this box, but they end up doing something like this. It's like, oh, okay, okay, I'm gonna draw a rib cage, and they draw it like this. You know, it looks like a sticker. It looks like it looks flat. It looks like a sticker. It looks flat as hell because you don't understand. You don't have like this um understanding of perspective enough that you can just guess or at least understand or have a better understanding right off the bat of the shapes and the volumes just by looking at it once. Like if you have like if you look at an image of something of like a rib cage and you haven't looked at a rib cage before, but you know perspective, that's gonna allow you to like even if you only looked at it once, you can rotate it in 3D space. Kind of like if you were on like Sketchfab, this website that has like 3D models, you can rotate it around and everything, and you should be able to do the same thing in your mind and on the canvas as well. Coach, now that I'm seeing it, maybe Heart stuck on diamond lobbies. What do you mean diamond lobbies? Heart stuck on diamond lobbies? So yeah, of course. This is way too big. You need to respect everything. You need to respect the proportions. So it's like the reason why the mannequins is the actual mannequin is so important is because knowing how to draw this from memory is going to require you to know what's inside these boxes. And you're gonna know, okay, there has to be. This is just like the rib cage, the collarbone. This is where the chest and the back is going to be, of course, from the back. And this is going to be the whole abdomen area. And you need to break down this area, these things individually. That I'm not as good as I thought. I mean, as long as you are kind of aware of it, you're already like at least opening to new things. You always need to be like humble in some way when you're learning anatomy, and you need to always assume that you don't know anything. Even when you have been learning it for a lot of time, you need to assume that you don't know anything because you can always forget stuff, and you're better off just assuming, okay, I'm gonna pretend I don't know anything, and I'm just gonna make sure that it remains this way until that I keep this mentality until I'm 100% sure that I know what I'm doing. Because there will always be little things. haven't studied the pelvis too much, so there may be a bit of gibberish here. Um, but that's okay because you don't really fully need to know the pelvis, like just the basic structure, like kind of like the outline of it, because that's what's gonna be showing always. Mm, Hell no, I feel like all the way, coach. What you thinking? What you talking about? I gotta destroy my enemies. Like Kratos did to Olympus when he begged Ares to destroy his enemies. I mean, you should be egocentrical or like egotistical when it comes to the actual thing. I think that's more productive than not. Honestly, I think people are gonna tell you to be humble just for the sake of it, but I think you should be a little bit egotistical. But it's not about being humble here. It's just like about just knowing that you don't know anything, knowing that you're still in like kind of the oh fuck, what am I doing stage. Mm, 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 mm. Jesus, man, I'm tired. I don't know why I'm so tired. I didn't even want to like stream today, but I was like, man, I just need to. I just need to do this. This is important. This is my duty to do this right now. Even if it's shit, even if I'm not in a good mood, I don't care. Mm. Let me give this guy a more meaty chest. Cause why not? That's boring. Let's say I don't think I'm like too concentrated right now. So let's take some time to mm, think. Thinking before you draw is like really important as well. It's just like taking some proper time to like marinate things, if you will. Can I still draw like a car engine? I'm curious because it's been months since I did like those car engine kind of observations, and I was looking at them. So let me see if I can draw one. No, wait, from like really wish I could restart my computer, man. This is excruciating. I forget what this looked like. The fucking exhaust of the engine. Jesus. I'm gonna try to guess what's going on here. I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna take a piss, guys. I'm gonna take a nice piss. Wow. Hell yeah, we're back. Two. What is up? What's up, Mikado? How are we today, boys? I see you today draw a car engine, that's really cool. Yeah, I don't usually draw car engines because... like, anymore at least. I used to draw more. More of these car engines, yeah. Let's make this guy naked. Yeah. I'm doing well today. I went to the place to get my driver's license, but my country kind of sucks. And even after three months after doing my exam, I still don't have my license. I also wanted to get my license. I just don't have a I just don't have a car, and I don't want to. I like driving, but I don't have a car, and I'm probably gonna move, so it doesn't make sense to buy a car right now. Anyways. Bro is sleeping while drawing. Yes, I squint a lot for some reason, and I hate making that face vid. Yeah. I'm engaging with the fourth dimension whilst drawing. That's why. Grandpa said, "If you're gonna squint that hard, you may become Asian." There are people who thought I was Asian because I squint a lot. I'm afraid what I might say if I record myself drawing because I feel like I make the weirdest faces. Sometimes even making an expression I'm drawing. I mean, who cares? In the end, you realize people care way less than you realize. Way less than you think. Not literally afraid, just I think it'll be really goofy. It will. I don't look much. I don't look much in the mirror, and I usually have a very expressionless face, so I wonder how goofy it may look when I make an exaggerated expression. And I'm wondering, is that a stylistic choice, or you're not decent yet at drawing from imagination? No offense, just curiosity. um, well, if you mean the simplified faces, well, yes. Sometimes I draw more realistic faces. So, or sometimes, well, in this case, like I'm like fucking it up on purpose. Sometimes I like to draw like the goofy, like simple faces, but um, like not every body or face that I draw has to be like fully realistic and like, or maybe I'm just scoping. Yeah, maybe I'm just scoping. Maybe I'm just shit. I thought I saw a similar goofy art style somewhere. I think Kim Jong Gi drew like that. I mean, I just have different like kind of art styles. Sometimes I'm in a more like loose mood when I'm not like taking things too seriously and I'm just drawing like in a more sketchy way. Or sometimes I'm purposefully like not adding too much detail and making things super pretty because super like presentable. I mean, in pretty in that sense because sometimes you realize the simpler you make something, the harder it gets. When you are truly able to like, okay, this is why I always draw these mannequins because it just shows how much understanding you have about something without drowning it in detail. I like to keep something simple. If you think about it, for example, anime's style, the bodies can be quite realistic, while the face has like a dot for a nose. Yeah, sometimes I also like going back to my roots and draw some anime. When you're studying, you focus only on what you're studying. So, for example, studying poses, so you need to draw detailed faces. Yeah. Knowing how to do everything is equally as important. Fuck me, what am I doing? Maybe I haven't practiced the back too much from this angle. Is the dude awake? Oh, fuck you. I'm just concentrated. Just like Tom Fox said, strive to draw representationally and faithful to your vision. In other words, draw what you see, not what you know. The latter is just showing off knowledge. That's interesting. Draw what you see, not what you know. That can be good advice. For example, you don't need to draw every muscle fiber just because you know them. You're right. But if that's your vision, yeah, you should. But it's just prioritizing, yeah, your the idea of what you want to draw that's in your mind. And when you have the solid idea, even if you mess up, it is going to show with a different energy. Like if you mess up, but you don't have an idea in mind, it's way worse than if you mess up by but having an idea in mind, because at least you're showing conviction, and it's more likely that those mistakes come off as intentional. Way better, absolutely, I agree. Although both things are important, you should be able to do both things, study in both ways, like practice, fuck, you know, knowing things and also putting them to practice, but doing this in like separate seasons. Oh well, not seasons, but like you get what I mean. Separate situations where okay, you learn the things, for example, anatomy specifically for the situation you're gonna need to use them, right? Because if I'm gonna draw a comic about superheroes, for example, if that's my vision, if that's my goal, I probably don't need to study. I don't know the way that I probably don't need to study about. Fuck, I don't know what something completely unrelated to superheroes, about fucking like computers, for example. You know, I'm not. You get what I mean. You study based on what you need. You're not gonna study gaming computers and the way they look and work just because of it. Another line, another one I like from him: indicate, don't state. Our natural tendency is to describe every small detail like we're telling a boring story. The viewer doesn't actually want this. They want to be challenged to do some more work themselves. Do you mean in like a storytelling way, or do you mean in like a storytelling context? Because I mean, I think that's um, part of being a good storyteller, visual storyteller, is being good to, yeah, imply the situations. Yeah, but you wanna be good at simplifying, but at the same time you wanna know how to do it. Like, okay, you're simplifying and that's good, but if you want it to go complex, if you want it to like it's not about using simplification as excuse to not learn anatomy and not be good at it. It's just like, okay, you can simplify it, but if you want it to go more complex, you can. Do you get my point? Mm. After all, his book is quite complex, but he teaches to simplify all the muscles he teaches. I don't think you need to learn how to simplify. Or, I mean, I just think that's part of anatomy. I just think that's part of learning anatomy. You can't learn how to simplify something that you don't know what it looks like. You know, if you don't know what it looks like. So, what you do is, okay, you learn the full anatomy, everything, like as accurate as you can, and you are like super meticulous with the details and everything. And then you're naturally gonna learn how to simplify everything. Naturally, you're gonna learn the difference of like, okay, uh, obviously a bodybuilder is gonna have more muscle than a woman. So you know, if I want to exaggerate the muscle mass, it's gonna look like this. And you start comparing one to the other, and you think, okay, a woman, for instance, that you know has usually like less muscle density and bone density, is not gonna have this muscle showing like this big guy, for example. So you know, okay, so this is a way of simplifying it. I need to simplify it, but you first need to know what you're doing before you can simplify it. Otherwise, you're gonna be blindly just going through the anatomy. I haven't read it all yet. I'm still learning the mannequin he's teaching, so I stopped on the torso. The important thing is that if you're learning the mannequin, you know uh, what the mannequin represents. That's it. Is that you truly internalize the fact that the mannequin, the mannequin has like the actual body parts inside. Uh, let me just let me just draw this mannequin, like yesterday, like we were doing yesterday, like a person just riding a bicycle. For some reason, I like that pose too much. It's like kind of hard, so let's try doing it. Uh, I should come up with more interesting topics like this so you can turn into more videos. I'm watching while having lunch, so it's so cool. I think I'm gonna be doing more like the last video I posted. It's just like a talking head video of me just yapping for like 30 minutes. I think I'm gonna be doing more videos like that because I like them. I think I genuinely just gonna be doing that more because I'm just feels a little easier. And in the end, I'm just gonna do whatever feels like there's less friction. Because when it comes to like me posting tutorials or like time lapses and shit, I don't know. I think I'm gonna be putting that on Instagram instead. I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, well, I just wanted to post like more blog type of videos, so it's like I'm thinking at this point I'm just gonna post whatever I want. Because I really like the type of videos that it's just me talking about stuff that are not necessarily like art tutorials. That are maybe more about self improvement and productivity. Because in the end, my channel started somewhere somewhere in the middle. I wanted to post like yeah, kind of self improvement stuff. Yo, bro, are you drawing from imagination? Well, the title of the stream is drawing from imagination, so I guess so. I guess I am. I need to double check. I haven't been like didn't draw too much today. Just like a bunch of let's see. Did you quit painting? Yes, I rage quit. I mean, quit is a very strong word. I don't know, man. It's not that I quit. It's that I got a little bored. Drawing is a little bit more interesting, or so I found. Hmm. I think it's funny how often people mention your painting videos here since I have not watched any of them. I started watching you from the line quality video and I will watch the anatomy lessons video. Now I'm here. I used to paint. I started my YouTube channel for like painting, but then eventually I was like, fuck it, let's do drawing videos. And I was scared, and I still am. I still am. But you know, just drawing, I just like it more. Okay, so. I think painting is like a cheat code. What do you mean? All that matters is that you're still doing art. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever quit. I don't think I don't think I can ever afford to quit art. It's already like my thing, kind of like my thing. It's a skill of itself, of course, but I think it's more flashy and attracts more people. Some people can see a drawing with no color or only lines and can't understand that it's a drawing or believe it's not finished because the average person has a very different idea of what drawing is. Yeah, I think the in terms of being flashy, like doing like the hyper realistic paintings from life and everything is like the most flashy of everything. What like normal people kind of just understand the most. Jesus, sorry for all the noise, guys. It's like too loud outside. But yeah, painting is very. It's just different. I wouldn't say like I always say it's kind of like playing piano and playing guitar. It's just like two different fucking things. It's not fair to compare one to the other. piano is seen as more professional and presentable, like the average Asian son that's forced to be a piano prodigy, but rarely they'll be forced to be guitar rock stars, you know. And I guess drawing is just more flashy, but it drawing is more drawing is more kind of delayed gratification. It's not gonna come off as flashy unless you're pretty good at it. So it takes some time. It's a little weird. Do not most painter know how to draw? Most this is gonna be a like a hot take, I think, but like I think most painters don't know how to paint, how to draw. Like is what I say. I find it kind of ridiculous that you're able to draw hyper realistic from reference. Like you're able to draw a hyper realistic body. You've seen those like statues, like those hyper realistic, like the fucking like Morgan Freeman drawing. It's like, okay, you're able to do that, but you can't. If I ask you, okay, now draw a simple body, draw a mannequin, draw a fucking box. You can't do it. You know those skills, even though I always say that it's like different. They're two different instruments. I still think it's kind of embarrassing that you're able to like. I remember, I already told this story, right? But I was in this like event, in this like drawing event. People there, like the people who organized the event, don't even know how to draw. They were just like messing around. It was just like a fun activity, and I remember thinking, oh, uh, I'm good at drawing. I'm good at painting. I can paint hyperrealism, so let's do it. But it was a like the thing is it was about drawing comics, right? So we were drawing comics, and then I realized very quickly I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just not good at this because it's different. It is completely different. I believe drawing and painting is the same thing. Drawing from like drawing from imagination is different than drawing from a reference. It's just objectively different. But if you mean, for example, drawing from reference and painting from reference, yeah, it's pretty much the same because you're focusing on replicating the values on the image. As long as your values are accurate, everything else is going to come together. But here you can't just rely on values. You need to have actual knowledge on what you're doing. This is why most people can't paint from imagination. And I really respect the people who do because it takes a lot of knowledge on first knowing values and knowing how to copy things and also how to like learn to draw from imagination because you need to know how to apply this knowledge. It just takes a lot of knowledge on the thing that you are drawing, and that is not easy at all. That is absolutely super ridiculously complicated. If we're talking from if we're talking about painting from many years ago, then yes, they know how to draw. But nowadays they're completely different. Like they focus on one aspect entirely. Yeah, Yeah, I think just people just take it for granted because this is why I think uh, most people are just like copying from, like, it's like, oh, go on Pinterest and copy this artist, this anime, this comic artist, or this other guy, this YouTuber, whatever. We all start like this sort of, and then we're like, oh, but now I can't like draw if I try to do my own thing. Like, you look up to people who can draw from imagination, but it never kind of crosses your mind to try it yourself because it is hard. It is hard. You think, okay, is this even possible? Oh Jesus. Mm. Bro, you're an inspiration. Seeing how you break things in shapes like squares to put them together to build your character is an amazing idea. Thanks, but I didn't come up with this. This is not this is not my amazing idea. It is an amazing idea, but of course it's not mine. I didn't invent the mannequins. uh, if you look into art history, it was supposed to be first drawing and learning anatomy and forms and perspective. Then you would move on to painting and sculptures. Yeah. And here we have like such a huge, insanely amazing, ridiculous opportunity to learn anatomy way better than anyone could have ever been able back then because of like the internet and all of this. I'm not to focus today, however. I have to accept that because sometimes you do like kind of overthink a little bit. what you're doing and you take yourself a little bit too seriously. You kind of have to know sh- how you how should you learn how to draw anything. So you need to copy. I think what is the difference is, do you copy mindless or do you try to understand the drawing is built? You see, the thing is that you're kind of right, but you need to know how to learn. You need to know how to actually study anatomy. Because here's the thing, when you realize, when it crosses your mind, oh, okay, now I know how to study anatomy, now I know how to memorize things, you then realize that you don't even need to copy. You don't need to do copies anymore. This is what, like, you can do, like, if you absolutely are mindful about it, you can do copies and learn from it. But at that point, you don't need to do it anymore. You get what I mean? So it's like, I can just do it by observing it. And you realize it's even more effective than copying it, because you can go very wrong when you're copying it. Because copying it is just like redundant. If anything, it's gonna distract you from memorizing the thing better, the specific thing you want to learn better, because you are like kind of multitasking, right? You're drawing and you're not paying too much attention. Then you are kind of forgetting about the fact that you should be remembering it, and observing, just looking at the thing is way more superior in my opinion. It's just like extremely, insanely, ridiculously, miraculously better everything. And they actually stick, like when you do it this way, it will stick with you. So for example, the last time I looked at a car engine was like 6 months ago. And well, of course, this is far from being accurate at all, but at least you can tell most of the structure stuck in my brain after like all this time, because I observed it properly. So I was drawing the engine to see, oh, am I going to remember it? Is my brain going to remember the way it looks after all this time? I mean, you kind of had to know how to. Uh, because copying, for example, from a reference that isn't already broken down will be harder because broken down will be harder because you are doing all the analysis and simplification, but it's not exactly necessary to do this anymore. Mm, since now that we are in the internet age, we can always see how other people broke things down already. But you always need to like do it by yourself. So the analogy that I always mention is that learning anatomy, or learning the anatomy of anything, let's say the human body, it's just like learning the lyrics of a song. So if I told you, hey, you gotta memorize the lyrics of this song, it's about, you gotta do it yourself, right? You gotta do all the work yourself. It's not about, hey, let me teach you how to memorize the lyrics of the song. Let me help you out. Let me break it down for you. It's like there's nothing to break down really. It's like you just gotta do the work yourself. Otherwise, it's not gonna fully stick. You don't want to rely on muscle memory or trying to remember or like just copying when you can just understand it. It's a little hard to explain because this is a little bit abstract. We can say. But just mentioning this because some people get stuck on things and don't use the advantage of looking up how others have done it. We have the power to search how someone did something. But you need to constantly compare that. It's not that, okay, you only stick with the information of like, okay, this artist and the way that he does it. You need to look at real life mostly. That is always going to be the foundation. That's always going to be the golden standard, of course. And then you compare that to other artists' interpretations. That's it. If you need to clean a specific piece from your washing machine, you don't need to discover how to disassemble to find that part. You can just search a tutorial on how to find it. Yeah, but when it comes to remembering and understanding things, it's a little different, right? Because, again, with the analogy of memorizing a song, are you gonna look up a tutorial for memorizing a song? How do I memorize a song? Maybe there are techniques to memorize a song better. Okay, good. But in the end, you need to do the work. You need to do the actual work of repetition, playing that song many, many, many times, singing that song, thinking of that song in your mind and trying to remember it until after a few days or after a few weeks, depending on the song, you are able to memorize it. But it's something that you can't just like, you need to do yourself in the end. And you'll realize that you will come up with interpretations and ways of breaking down the things in a way that only that is going to be better to understand it for you. It's going to be easier for you specifically. You get my point. It's not as simple. When it comes to things like painting, I think you may be right, for like when it comes to tutorials and watching all this, like step by step tutorials. Hey, here's how to paint. Yeah, look, that is an amazing comparison. When you are painting, like imagine I can do like a step by step tutorial to teach you how to do like a painting. So I can I can I can tell you step by step. Yeah, you gotta do this brushstroke here and everything, and it's like okay, you're gonna be able to do it, and it's actually going to like make sense, right? I could give you a step by step on this, but I can't give you a step by step on how to understand something. Maybe on how to draw, but you will be copying it, and the idea is that I can give you a step by step on this because that would be missing the point entirely. And I can't also give you a step by step on how to memorize the stuff that I memorize because that takes too long. That takes way too long. Imagine I memorized over 100 songs, and I do like a step by step on how to remember and memorize all of those songs individually. It's like too much work for something that is trivial. It's too much work for something that I might as well help you to figure it out yourself. Because despite what I said, different artists had different ways of making anatomy breakdown. Because that breakdown, look, there's something that you need to understand when it comes to anatomy. People break down anatomy, like the artists that you see break down the anatomy based on their understanding and knowledge on anatomy. If you blindly follow that simplification and that breakdown without knowing what the artist does, and you're just blindly kind of following the surface level advice that the artist is giving you, you are missing a lot of information. You're missing so much. So you are better off understanding it yourself and coming up with your own idea, or at least, okay, I understand it as much as this artist does. Now let me see the way that he simplifies it or he breaks it down. But we are supposed to be at the same level in terms of knowledge, right? Hey, this is great, fellow artists. Keep burning the matches. Thank you, bro. Thanks, man. I think I'm actually gonna like wrap it up here because it's getting too late and I need to do stuff, and I have a class in a while, so I think I'm gonna call it here, guys. This is why some people just quit art. LeMayo, having to face all this can be daunting. Yeah, it's just like natural selection, honestly. It's just like the people who want it bad enough, they're the ones who are going to actually stick around and give a fuck. I want it bad enough, and this is why I'm willing to go through all this pain. And, Also, great advice. Nobody can teach you everything. Gotta seek it yourself. Nice chatting those sub. Thank you, man. I mean, you gotta seek. I'm not saying you stop seeking for advice at all, and that you start learning things all by yourself, and boom, you're not gonna be very successful, or you may, but you will be better, way better, if you learn from other people. Absolutely. I'm not saying, yeah, be an arrogant piece of shit and never learn from anyone else. What I'm saying is that if you're gonna learn from someone else, learn about the way they learn. They need to teach you how to learn. They need to teach you how to study, because there are some things that, yeah, I mean, there are some things that can't be taught. you know there are some things that are like too mental. Like, again, if I listen to a song, look, this is like a good way to put it. If I remember a song, if I memorize a song, the lyrics, if I memorize the full lyrics of a song, it's not gonna be very effective if I try to tell you the lyrics. You know, if I sing you the lyrics and tell you, okay, try to memorize it, and I'm here with you for days, like singing you the song over and over and over again until you memorize it. And you're like, yay, we memorized one song, pretty good. It's better that I just tell you how to do it yourself, right? Because it's very ineffective otherwise. It's like, why would I tell you, um, like waste unnecessary time doing this when you may not even want to do it in the first place anyway? It's like very complicated, bro. It's not. It's not. Um, you need to want it bad enough. This is why there isn't a lot of people at the top. Okay, guys, I'm leaving now because it's too late already. It's 9:23. I'm supposed to like stop streaming at 9 o'clock. Um. So yeah. To be fair, I woke up super late, so I needed to make up for it a little bit. Um. Anyways, guys, thank you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.